Force yourself to keep going. Opening. Most people quit, not because they lack talent, not because they're broken or incapable. They quit because they're comfortable. They hit a wall. Maybe it's exhaustion, maybe it's boredom, maybe it's fear, and they stop. They settle. They convince themselves that this is enough, that they've tried hard enough, that the dream wasn't meant for them anyway. But here's what separates those who achieve from those who merely dream. Success doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're scared. Success only responds to one thing: whether you show up. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you the exact mindset and strategies that transform people from dreamers into doers. We're going to talk about purpose, resilience, action, and something equally important: how to lean on your community while staying true to yourself. Because here's the truth: you don't have to do this alone, but you also can't let others define your path. Part 1. The decision to keep going. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. Behind you is the road you know: comfort, safety, predictability. It's lined with people telling you to stay, to play it safe, to be realistic. Ahead of you is something different. It's uncertain, it's steep, but it leads somewhere worth going. Every person you've ever admired stood exactly where you are now. They weren't fearless, they weren't certain, they were simply willing to risk failure, willing to walk alone when necessary, willing to push forward despite the fear. Consider Sarah Blakely, who started Spanx with just $5,000 of her own money. She faced rejection from manufacturers and investors who didn't believe in her vision. She could have quit 100 times over, but she didn't. She kept pushing. Today, Spanx is a multi-billion-dollar company, and more importantly, she built it into something that connected her with her team, with customers, with a community of people who believed in what she was creating. The same is true for every person who's ever achieved something meaningful. Behind every success is a trail of hardship. Visionaries like Elon Musk started with nothing and faced constant criticism. Founders like Jeff Bezos began Amazon in a garage while working another job. Athletes like Serena Williams came from humble beginnings and had to battle doubt at every level. But what many of them discovered is that their greatest strength came not from working alone, but from building a community around their vision. A community united by purpose and often bound by commerce. What sets them apart isn't luck or genius, it's decision. Right now, you need to make that same decision. Decide that no matter how hard it gets, you will not quit. Decide that when your mind screams for you to turn back, you'll keep putting one foot in front of the other. Because transformation doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in challenge. It happens when you're willing to lean into discomfort and keep moving anyway. Part 2. Define your purpose. But here's what many people miss. You can't just decide to keep going in a vacuum. You need fuel. That fuel is purpose. Purpose is what drives you when everything else feels heavy. When the world says stop, your purpose whispers go. Without it, even small obstacles feel insurmountable. But when your purpose burns bright, you can walk through fire and come out stronger. Purpose turns pain into progress. It gives meaning to sacrifice. It transforms struggle into growth. Ask yourself these questions and be honest with your answers. What am I passionate about? What problem burns in my heart to solve? What legacy do I want to leave behind? What impact do I want to make in this world? Don't settle for vague goals or borrowed dreams. Get honest. Get specific. And once you found your answer, write it down. Put it on your wall, in your journal. Somewhere you'll see it every single day. Because purpose isn't a one-time spark. It's a daily fire you must keep lit. When the road gets hard, your purpose will keep you moving. When you're tempted to give up, it will remind you why you started. Here's something important. Your purpose should matter to you first. Yes, we live in community. Yes, other people matter. But if you build your life around what others expect or what others need, you'll burn out. Your purpose must be rooted in what actually calls to you, even if others don't understand it yet. Your purpose is your North Star. It's the reason your story matters, and it's not something you find in comfort. It's discovered in the moments when you question everything, yet choose to keep going anyway. Part 3. Set concrete goals and milestones. Purpose shows you the direction. Goals show you the path. A dream without direction is like a ship without a compass, adrift, lost, eventually forgotten. But when you define clear, actionable goals, you give your dream structure. You turn possibility into inevitability. Goals aren't just wishes written down. They're promises to yourself. They're declarations that you will not leave your future to chance. The moon landing wasn't achieved in one leap. It began with a vision, but it was brought to life through specific, measurable steps. Each calculation, each test, each mission was a goal. One by one, those goals formed a bridge from Earth to Moon. Start today, not tomorrow, not when things are perfect. Today. Write your goals on paper. Make them visible. Make them real. Get specific about what you want, when you want it, and why it matters. Your goals should challenge you, push you forward, and remain deeply connected to your purpose. Then, break those larger goals into milestones, clear checkpoints that keep you grounded and focused. With every milestone you reach, you build trust in yourself. You begin to understand that progress isn't a myth, it's happening, step by step, decision by decision. Celebrate those small victories. Let them remind you that you're not stuck. You're moving. You're becoming. This is how transformation actually happens. Not by leaps, but by steps. Not by chaos, but by structure. When your goals are clear, your actions follow naturally. You stop wandering. You start building. Part 4. Build your community without losing yourself. Now, I want to talk about something that gets misunderstood. Community. You've probably heard that you can't do this alone, and it's true. You do need people. You need support, encouragement, and guidance. You need mentors who've walked the path before you. You need friends who believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. But here's something equally important that often gets overlooked. Your shared goal can become the foundation for building lasting family bonds and economic opportunity for everyone involved. When you create something, a business, a mission, a vision, you have the chance to invite others into it, not as followers, but as partners. And when people are united around a common goal, something powerful happens. They stop being random individuals. They become a community. Think about family businesses that have thrived for generations. The Williams family in tennis. The Waltons who built Walmart and forever changed retail. The Bezos family and what Amazon became. These aren't just stories of individual success. They're stories of families united around a shared purpose, creating wealth and opportunity together. Commerce isn't a dirty word. It's simply the exchange of value. And when your business, your venture, your creation is rooted in genuine value, it becomes a vehicle for building community. Your employees aren't just workers, they become part of your mission. Your customers aren't just transactions, they become part of your movement. Your partners, your collaborators, your team, they all have skin in the game. Here's the deeper truth. When people are economically invested in something you're building, when they have the potential to benefit financially from your success, their commitment deepens. It's not cynical to acknowledge this, it's wise. A business owner and their employees grow together. They're motivated by the same success. They celebrate the same milestones. They build genuine relationships because their goals are aligned. This is how you turn a dream into a legacy. You don't just achieve something for yourself. You create a structure that allows others to achieve alongside you. You build opportunity. You create wealth. You expand the vision beyond your individual capacity. Now, here's the critical balance. Community is a resource, not a compass. Yes, you need people. Yes, leverage commerce and shared goals to bind your community together. But don't let your community define your purpose or your path. Some people in your life will doubt you. They'll have good intentions, but their doubt comes from their own limitations, their own fears. Their vision is bound by the walls of their experience, while yours reaches beyond. If you surrender your dreams to their doubt, you trade infinite possibility for finite fear. Learn to separate constructive feedback from destructive noise. One sharpens your craft, the other seeks to dull your spirit. Welcome feedback that helps you grow. Dismiss the rest like dust in the wind. Your community should elevate you, not diminish you. They should challenge you to grow, not convince you to shrink. If you find yourself constantly explaining your vision to people who don't support it, that's a signal to spend less time with that person, not a signal to abandon your dream. Be intentional about who you build with. Find your tribe, the ones who believe in your potential, the ones who will show up when things get hard, the ones who understand that building something together is more valuable than going alone. When you find those people, invest in them. Build structures with them. Create economic opportunities with them. But keep your purpose as the center. Your life is for you first. Your dreams belong to you. Yes, you share them with others. Yes, community matters. Yes, commerce can amplify your impact. But the foundation must be solid within you, not dependent on external validation. You're not looking for permission, you're looking for partners, and there's a massive difference. Part 5. Stay committed despite criticism. There will come a moment in your pursuit when the voices of the world rise up. Some will whisper caution, others will shout in disbelief. The tone may vary, but the essence remains the same. Doubt. And often this doubt doesn't come from malice, it comes from fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of the untested, fear of the unconventional. Look at what happened with the Airbnb founders. When they started, they were told their idea was ridiculous. Why would people rent out rooms in their homes to strangers? Who would pay for this? The venture capital world rejected them dozens of times, but they believed, they kept going, and they didn't do it alone. They built a community of hosts and guests who became invested in the same vision. Now, Airbnb has created wealth and connection for millions of people worldwide. Or consider the story of the Williams sisters in tennis. Venus and Serena weren't just individuals competing, they were a family unit, pushing each other, believing in each other, building their legacy together. Their shared goal became stronger because it was shared. And when they commercialized their talent through sponsorships, businesses, and ventures, they created opportunities not just for themselves, but for people they employed, people they inspired. Here's what we learn from these lives. The judgment of others is often a reflection of their limitations, not your potential. Commitment in the face of criticism is one of the highest forms of courage. It's easy to stand tall when the crowd applauds, but to keep walking when they laugh, to keep building when they mock, to keep believing when they doubt, that's the mark of the visionary. Now, circle back to your community. This is where that becomes critical. You need people who believe in your vision even when others don't. You need people who will say, "I believe in you," not because they fully understand your path, but because they trust you. But you also need to be clear-eyed about who those people are. Not everyone in your circle will be in your corner. That's not a failure on your part, that's a reality. Your job is to know the difference between someone offering wisdom and someone offering doubt. Let their doubt be the backdrop to your determination. Let their disbelief fuel your fire. In time, your results will speak louder than their resistance ever could. Part 6. Continuously adapt and grow. Life doesn't move in straight lines. It twists, it turns, it throws obstacles your way when you least expect them. The world doesn't reward the rigid or the unyielding. It rewards those who are adaptable. What worked yesterday may be obsolete tomorrow. That doesn't mean abandon your purpose. It means adapt your strategy. Stay focused, but stay flexible. Your principles are your anchor. Your strategy must be flexible. There's a difference between stubborn and strong. Stubbornness is insisting on the old way even when it no longer works. Strength is knowing when to pivot, when to adapt, and when to strike from a new angle. Be willing to unlearn and relearn. Continuously seek knowledge. Expand your skill set. When a plan fails, don't see it as the end. See it as a signal to change course. This is where your community can be invaluable, not in telling you what to do, but in helping you see what you might be missing. A good mentor or friend can help you notice when you're being stubborn versus when you're being resilient. But ultimately, you have to decide. The winds of life will shift. New challenges will arise. Your only choice is whether you'll move with them or be swept aside. Part 7. Develop unshakable self-belief. Self-belief is the bedrock of success. Without it, every step forward feels uncertain. Every challenge feels heavier than it truly is. With it, you become unshakable. You move with intention. You speak with conviction. Look at how Kobe Bryant approached his career. He didn't just build himself into a champion, he built an empire. He invested in companies, created the Mamba Sports Academy, and created opportunities that employed hundreds of people and inspired millions. His self-belief wasn't just about his individual greatness, it extended into building. He believed so deeply that he could create value for others that he invested his resources, his time, his belief into creating structures that would outlast his playing career. That's the power of unshakable self-belief. It doesn't just elevate you, it elevates everyone around you. Your mind listens to everything you say about yourself. If you speak fear, it will grow. If you speak strength, it will rise. Speak power daily. Tell yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I am growing stronger every day. Not because you're pretending, but because you're becoming. Repetition carves truth. But don't stop there. Prove it to yourself. Look at your past. Look at the storms you've already survived, the times you felt broken yet kept going. Every victory, no matter how small, is proof that you have what it takes. Then carry that belief into your actions. Stand tall. Speak as if your words carry weight. Act as if success is already yours. Because when you move like you believe, the world responds. Now, this is important. The opposite of self-belief isn't humility. You can believe in yourself deeply while also remaining humble and open to feedback. You can know your worth while also knowing you have more to learn. In fact, the people with the strongest self-belief are often the most coachable. They don't need others to validate them, so they're free to listen without defensiveness. That's the balance. Believe in yourself completely, but stay open to growth. Part 8. Harness the power of resilience. Life will test you. That's not a threat, that's a promise. And when it does, your inner power will determine your destiny. That power is resilience. Resilience is not about perfection. It's not about a flawless path or a record untouched by defeat. It's about the courage to stand up every single time you fall. Consider Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. He was rejected from dozens of jobs. When he started his company, people thought he was crazy. China had no e-commerce infrastructure. The skepticism was overwhelming. But what Ma did was build a community around his vision. He brought together young, talented people who believed in a future that seemed impossible at the time. He created not just a company, but an ecosystem where families, suppliers, small businesses, and entrepreneurs could build wealth together. His resilience wasn't just personal. It rippled outward and transformed millions of lives because he was building something bigger than himself. Obstacles are not barriers, they're thresholds. Challenges are not punishment, they're preparation. Each disappointment, each moment of despair is sculpting you, chiseling away what's weak to reveal the warrior within. When you're weary, when your dreams feel distant, when the weight of the world presses on your chest, pause. Don't retreat. Remind yourself, this pain is not the end. It's the beginning of your growth. Resilience is choosing hope over despair, effort over apathy, and faith over fear. The resilient person doesn't wait for life to be easy. They grow stronger because it is hard. Closing. Take action. Ideas without action are worthless. You may have the most brilliant vision, the most detailed plan, the most inspiring dream. But if you never move, if you never act, then all of it fades into nothing. The world doesn't reward the ones who merely think, imagine, or intend. It rewards the ones who do. Your future depends entirely on what you choose to do today. Not tomorrow, not someday, today. So take that first step. Make that call. Write that page. Start that project. And once you start, never stop. Keep going. Keep building. Keep acting. Because in the end, it's not the ideas you had that define your legacy. It's the actions you took. You have everything you need. You have your purpose. You have your goals. You have your community behind you, the ones who truly believe. And you have yourself. That's enough. Now go and prove it.